Hi everyone. So I'm getting a lot of queries regarding the difference between dissertation and academic project, and also how does a student choose between a dissertation and an academic project. So if I may just give you a brief difference between the two. So a dissertation is basically a long piece of writing as given by the dictionary or the definition. So it's a long piece of writing about something that you have studied, especially as part of a university degree. So dissertation is something that you will have to write, will have to explain about a particular topic that you'll be researching on, and you will be finally giving your results and conclusion in the form of a document that will be submitted to the university. And this document will be the final product of your outcome of your research that you've done in this semester, the 7th and the 8th semester, and finally the evaluation will be done on that. So basically it is mandatory to do certain steps in it and then finally produce the results. So basically the final production is in the terms of a document consisting of 100 to approximately 300 pages or 250 pages, depending upon which discipline you are, what kind of work have you done. And this work can be extensive, it can be detailed. If it has multiple layers of analysis, then it can be more detailed as compared to a shorter form of evaluation. For example, if it's a language based work, or from the languages, English literature work, analysis of certain what do you call literature, novels, etc., then that will be a lesser work as compared to if it is a data on 100 200 people, and it is on multiple variables on that population. That will have multiple layers of evaluation involved. Coming on to the types of dissertations that you can do, there could be two types of dissertations. One dissertation is an empirical work. Empirical work basically involves collecting data, collecting evidence for whatever you are analyzing. So basically your variables in an empirical data are measurable. You are able to give them numbers, evaluate, take numbers out of those variables, and then analyze it, majorly quantitatively, but some variables can be assessed in the form of qualitative variables also. So empirical can be qualitative or quantitative work. And for example, it could be understanding the impact of family environment on academic achievement, or certain variables, personality variables you can analyze, or whichever discipline you are, the variables should be measurable in terms of the evidence that you get from that, and then some analysis it can be done on that. For example, like finding correlation, or doing analysis of variance on the data, or finding the difference between two groups like younger, older, gender differences. You can do that also. So basically these are the types of dissertations that you do. You are able to basically research will involve filling the gaps in the research which is already done. So you are doing a certain kind of review of literature, and then finding what is something innovative, what is something new that you can contribute to the body of literature. In non-empirical research, basically you do not have measurable variables. For example, feminism as a theme in the Indian cinema. So how does Indian cinema portray feminism in its work, in its movies? So that could be something. Or for example, cultural practices that are specific or unique to certain tribes, anthropological work, sociological work, language, literature, these kind of work. Or for example, in mathematics, doing some kind of an analysis of your new data, new variable, or secondary analysis also of data. That is, some work is already done, and some document is already there on maybe the government website, and you want to analyze that document, analyze their reports, and analyze multiple reports, and then finally come to a conclusion. So basically you're not going and collecting data somewhere, you are reanalyzing the data which is already there. So that will be something which is non-empirical work. Compared to this, an academic project will be something which I have already told you, that it will be something, an application of your theoretical knowledge in real world, something that you have already studied but you wanted to know how it works in real world, how people behave like this, how does it happen, how does this new tax policy that the government has got implemented, how does it impact people's behaviors, how does it impacts people's buying power, for example, buying behavior. So you can do something like that. Academic project will be something which will involve critical thinking, and it will involve teamwork skills also. So you usually academic projects are long enough, are in-depth enough, that you may require a team, like 2 people or 3 people can work on an academic project. But coming on to the question of that, you are a student who is producing this academic work for a partial fulfillment of your academic degree, like your UG degree. So when you are doing it to fulfill your UG degree, then you cannot be sharing it with anyone else. Okay, so you will not be sharing it. So what I would suggest here is that if you people go for a practical, innovative academic project, then you should be analyzing the multiple layers of the same problem with another person, with another co-worker, team member, classmate, and then you can have different aspects analyzed of the same problem. So that will make your project different also, your work different also, but at least you'll be able to move together, collect data together, and analyze things in the real world together. So that could be, for example, studying the impact of a specific government's policy on a particular population. For example, like the EWS policy which government started. If you want to study the impact of that policy on how it has led to upliftment of these people who have already availed the policy, then you can go out, interview, see how it worked out, how they have actually become better in that scenario or not. So basically those things. Now if we talk about certain other kind of academic projects, then for example in the field of AI or computers, it can be design projects. Design projects are something where you create something tangible, a tangible product or a tangible system, such as software applications or websites or physical models. Example could be like developing a mobile application for counseling. So you can develop a therapy model of how it prompts people when they tell their problem to the app and how it works. So basically developing a mobile application for that, or designing a sustainable water management project for your society. So basically something which is creative, something which is innovative, and something which solves the present day problems of a particular population area. You can also do some kind of service oriented project also, something like where you work and apply your knowledge to the community issues, to the community problems. So you engage with the community, like for example working with a local organization to address a social issue. So you may students from psychology, from social work, from maybe other BLEd, elementary education, they can work with how the policies of government or how the NGOs, they are working in upliftment of or addressing a social issue such as poverty or homelessness or domestic violence and child marriage, or developing certain educational program, a brief educational for the BLEd or BEd students, developing educational programs for the underprivileged communities or underprivileged children. So those kind of things could be done in an academic project. Now let me come on to certain specific FAQs which are being asked for regarding those people who've seen my videos. They have asked me certain questions. Now one question is that, I'll take one by one. One question is that which is better, a dissertation or a project? Now this is something you have to answer for yourself. Okay, so if you really want to go out and help people solve certain issues, then you can, or apply your knowledge, then you can do a project. Okay, but the problem with the project is that it will take time and you may not get the desired results in the desired amount of time. It will take time, and that is one problem that you may end up with a bigger problem, because if you do not finish your work in the stipulated time, in the time of that semester, then you will be in trouble and you will not be able to finish your work. In that sense, dissertation is good. In dissertation also, empirical dissertation is good enough to do good work and to publish, or to showcase that you have done good work. Another question that has been asked by a student is that if program students choose not to opt for dissertation, that means they choose that they don't want to do a dissertation or an academic project, what will they be required to do as part of their coursework? Now this is a question which is a problematic question, because if you want to get a degree, a major's degree with research, so the highest degree if we see in this scenario is getting an honors degree with research written, with research work written in your degree. If you want to get the degree, you have to do research work. You have to do research work in your major discipline, and you should have done your research methodology paper, RM paper, in the same discipline only. That means if you want to do, I'll give the example of psychology again, that if you want to do a BA program with majors in psychology and minors in economics, then your major paper, major RM paper you should have studied RM in psychology rather than RM in economics. And to get a major degree in your discipline, major degree in your psychology discipline, then you should have done your psychology paper. So that's not an option. You have to do a dissertation if you want to get an honors degree with research written in your degree. Otherwise you can go for certain kind of internships and do your credit work. Third question is that will students be allowed to choose their coursework themselves? Students be allowed to choose their coursework themselves, or will the college assign? So I've told you that you have to do this, so college will not assign you anything. Again, you have to do a dissertation or an academic project if you want to get your degree. Third question is that academic project is group work or individual. Now this is a question that again I have addressed it earlier also, that it is your degree. Your academic project contributes to your degree. So if you want to get a degree which says that you have done this project for the partial fulfillment, so two people cannot share the same work, no? It's plagiarism. So your work should be different compared to another person's work. So what I suggest is that, again, if you really want to do good work and practical work, application oriented work, then you should be sharing it with people. I mean, if two people can share and do the same work, but your work should be slightly different, covering different aspects compared to the other individual who's done the work in the same area. But teamwork can obviously help in collecting a lot of data. Does project work involve field work? Project work will involve field work only. Project work will not be theoretical in nature. Project work will involve going to that particular problem, zone, domain, region, people. So you have to go and you have to get your data from there only. You cannot, it cannot be done sitting at home, sitting in your college, or in a library. You cannot do that. You have to go there. Another question is that what is the weightage of dissertation, and is there any criteria for doing dissertation? First question, weightage of dissertation is 6 credits. It is part of the paper, just like all other papers are there. So 6 credits in semester 7 and 6 credits in semester 8. Total a dissertation or project will be for 12 credits. So it is huge. It is not less. So getting your work done on time will take a lot of efforts from you. So please ensure that the way you start your dissertation with the same kind of zest and zeal, you continue and finish your work till the end of the 8th semester. I'm sure your teachers and your faculty will help you in doing that. But a constant communication with your faculty will be mandatory for this, to finish it in time. Is there any criteria for doing dissertation? There is no minimum entry for the CGPA to do dissertation. So even if you've got a CGPA of 5, 6, 7, 6.5, any CGA, at least you should have passed all your papers, previous year's papers, then you can do your dissertation, that will not be an issue at all. Now, attendance criteria, however, the attendance criteria for this year remains the same, just like it is in all semesters. 66.67%, 2/3, that is, of your all the classes, that remains the same, that will not change. That's the university's criteria for all years throughout, it will remain the same, so that is not a criteria. So everybody can, any student who wishes to do a dissertation will be able to do, there will not be any issues with that. Colleges will have to provide, will have to give them the faculty, will have to give them the resources and provide opportunities for that. Opportunities for the projects, or projects where you have to go and meet, or internships where you have to go and work at a certain place, exposure at a certain academic, certain other institutes or organizations. Colleges can help in getting academia industry tie-ups. Industry academia tie-ups is where a lot of students gain a lot, because they learn on the job training actually, even though it is not paid, but at least you learn, you get a lot of skills before going to the field actually. And the placement cell of any college can really help in doing that, getting these kind of tie-ups. Tie-ups will also help in ensuring that the student attends the place of work also. It can also put in certain means and mechanisms in place to see whether the student is going regularly or not, and to have a communication or dialogue between the place of work and the organization to which the student belongs to. And the last question is about the MA MSc will be for 1 year. So when you are doing your final year in the 4th year, then you will be doing your 1 year MSc program only. You will not be doing a 2 year MSc program. The university will be stopping the 2 year MA MSc programs coming from the coming session. Psychology students will have 2 options to do. Those students who have already moved out in, for example, some students who have moved out in 2023, that's a year before, or 24 for example, but did not join any other college, okay? They have not done any master's program. So what they will do is now so they have done only 3 years of graduation, and now the master's program has become for 1 year. Now they have a problem that they have a gap year of 1 year. Gap means they have a less of 1 year to continue with their master. So what they because master is only for 1 year, so what they have to do is they will have to do certain bridge courses, maybe certain bridge courses given by the RCI for their clinical psychology, if they want to do masters in clinical psychology, or they will have to do certain kind of diploma courses, PG diploma courses. 1 year bridge courses they will have to do to complete that 1 year lag which is between their UG and their PG. That's their masters. So basically that bridge course they will have to do. I hope this helps people's queries also. And if you have any other query, please do feel free to DM me, to message me, or to contact me on the email ID mentioned below. So I hope that really helps students to choose. I will be doing a short video on how to choose your research work, what are the ways of doing that research, and I think you should start planning on, if you really want to do a research work, should start planning on deciding upon your topics. Thank you.